Dear Diary, this is part 5 of the Trachtenbergs cheat to put CXB in jail to silence his whistleblowing to try and kill him in Rikers Island. Now, some of you thought I was exaggerating, but in 2014, all the newspapers came out with all kinds of stuff. The feds are suing the city of New York over Rikers, all kinds of stuff. It's a fucking it's a fucking concentration camp. Now you think, well, it's not a concentration camp. Sorry, you're thinking of extermination camps. You humans still get the facts wrong consistently. Look it up. More people have been killed in Rikers than Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib times 50. Rikers has killed so many people, usually they doctor it. Now, I was warning all the media that they were doctoring all the medical records, everything, and every reporter in New York covered it up for 20 years under Bloomberg and Giuliani, because they got billions in corporate welfare from Giuliani and Bloomberg. That's how Republicans operate. You steal tons of money from the poor and middle class, you give it to the rich then write articles about how you're the greatest, you win elections and become president. It didn't quite work out for Rudy Giuliani because of his cross-dressing and his lack of team-playing ability. But I have digressed again. Lots of smears about me all over the city and the web. And there's no way to undo the damage. I'm fucked. I may win lawsuit settlements, the truth will come out, but my life is over. I'm just sticking around trying to fucking clear my name a little bit. Example, no one even knows what I went to jail for. The newspapers were very, very evasive and worked very well in hand with the Bloomberg administration and the Hines goons to frame the #1 investigative reporter in New York City, the #1 whistleblower in New York City. Could be coincidence that I just happen to be exposing the media's corruption too and their financial conflicts of interest with Bloomberg. It's possible. Maybe not, they would say. We'll see when I sue them in court using RICO statutes, etc. My legal cases are flawless times 1,000, but if you think our courts have anything to do with laws, you're nuts. Now, thank God for Garner and Ferguson, people are asking, maybe prosecutors are frauds. Oh, you think? Yeah, maybe power corrupts. It's 2014. Hey, wait, maybe power corrupts. You think? DAs are fucking criminals. They're criminals. They're criminals. I've never met an honest one as a victim of crime. Never met an honest one as an alleged criminal. When they find out you're innocent, they do even more to frame you than if they find out they're guilty. All the statistics prove that. You hear every day of somebody who did something really heinous doing very little jail time, and somebody who did nothing getting massive jail time. It happens every day. You have no idea. No one will tell you the truth about the American legal system. And as you can see, that's why they destroy me, because they have to keep the system intact. And I'm the biggest threat to the system. If Americans knew the judges were allowed to break the law, Americans would be furious. If Americans knew the DAs were allowed to break the law, Americans would be furious. Never mind that it's a federal crime. There's just shocking Nazism and totalitarianism of the concept that some people are above the law and the rest of us aren't is obscene. But let's get back to the Trachtenbergs. Okay, I was charged with 3 crimes. They gave me the maximum jail on all 3 crimes. Well, it was 3 mass emails I sent out. I sent out 3 mass emails to my gigantic mailing list. That's how I used to communicate with people. And expose government corruption stuff. My email list is humongous, like 15,000 names. Most of the reporters in New York, a lot of the major politicians and their staffs. And a lot of people secretly read my shit and don't tell anybody they read my shit, because they know if I'm writing it, it's got to be hot, it's got to be scandalous, and I got to have the true story. Otherwise, I wouldn't write. Why would I waste my time? I could be doing my music and my art and stuff. If I'm going to send something out, it's going to be shocking. And so a lot of people might read my stuff, but pretend they say sometimes they say they don't in public, but then privately they admit they do. The Trachtenbergs, I had sent out 3 mass emails. The first one was exposing what the Hines and the Trachtenbergs were doing meeting court, trying to get a restraining order, lying about it, lying to get a restraining order. And I even got Rachel Trachtenberg to testify that the DA had lied to a judge to obtain the order of protection, the very order of protection she then and her family and the DA used to put me in jail. She even testified that she didn't call the police or the DA on me. They contacted her. That never happens. It's the victim calls the police and complains. It's never a DA randomly calls a victim and says, hey, we want to build a case. I mean, every fact is would be front page news if reporters weren't completely dirty. These were some of the, I mean, most of my trials were some of the most shocking trials in world history. And I turned them into circuses, but they were circuses before I got there. 5 minutes. So there were people don't realize it. They're like, oh, you were charged for harassing her. Do you know what I was even charged for? I was charged with 2 crimes for sending a mass email in 2012, exposing the lies they had told in court, etc. And the DA made the DA look very bad. Both DAs, I think. They gave me 2 years in jail for that. A year and a year. The max and the max. For 2 charges. They claimed that one mass email, and then there were 2 other mass emails. They claimed all 3 mass emails were 7 different crimes. Each was a crime of harassment against Rachel. Each of the 3 mass emails was a crime of violating an order of protection by being sent to Rachel. And then there was the 7th charge, which was harassment, meaning all 3 emails combined. Now, on its face, this was jaw-droppingly corrupt. On its face. And you don't have to believe me. You know how many fucking people in the courts and jails would come up to me in the hallways or they're transferring in handcuffs going, they are out to get you. We have never seen anything like this. They got 2 of the top fucking felony prosecutors in Hines' office working on the most petty-ass misdemeanors. I'm not charged with punching anybody. I'm not charged with drugs or stealing. I'm charged with sending out 3 mass emails, whistleblowing. The second mass email was amazing. I sent these out to everybody, too. Everybody on my mailing list has these 3 smoking guns in their mailboxes. And it's too good to be true. They're comical. The second one, the Trachtenbergs sent a violent thug to go beat me up at Sidewalk Cafe. Lots of witnesses. It then turns out when I researched the guy, he was a poor man's CXB, crusading around his neighborhood and hanging up posters humiliating bad people. Something that the Trachtenbergs said I should go to prison for. I've never met a critic of mine who wasn't a two-faced hypocrite. And I never will have a critic of mine who isn't a two-faced hypocrite. Because you can't criticize me unless you're a two-faced hypocrite. So, the third mass email was me making fun of Supercute's new band. It was a Gary Glitter tribute act. And making fun of Julia's hairdo, saying she stole it from Justin Bieber. 2 years in jail for that. The judge gave me 6 years in jail, admitted he could only give me 3 max because you have to run certain charges concurrent. Not always does the judge have the authority to say, you know, you got convicted of 2 misdemeanors, I'm going to give you 2 years back to back. Most of the time they would have to run them concurrent. So, of the 3 alleged crimes, 3 mass emails, free speech, protecting right there, he gave me 6 years, and then he gave me whatever it was, 30 days for the 7th charge, which was a misdemeanor. Well, they're all misdemeanors, but that one was a B misdemeanor, I think. I wasn't he gave me the max. I even gave him a speech explaining why he couldn't legally give me the max. I mean, everything he did was illegal. I mean, works of art. These things are works of art. None of these people know anything about the law. This judge was so stupid, he had his law clerk standing next to him all the time to give advice. I've never seen another judge do that in any of my cases. That's how stupid and ignorant this judge was. And what happened to him? He got promotion. He's now a Supreme Court judge in New York State. Everything is corrupt. But you still don't believe that. Shit, 1 minute left. So many amazing details. I don't want to have to make a part 6, but we are into some of the juicy details. Now, they claim I was convicted of all 7 charges by a jury of my peers. The amount of corruption in the voir dire, that's where you pick jurors, and you decide which jurors should be on the jury and which jurors shouldn't be on the jury, totally corrupt and illegal. Each step, closing statements, everything. They didn't allow me, the judge didn't even allow me to present 60% of my evidence. Illegal. Everything they did was illegal to get the verdict they wanted. Sound familiar? Now people are realizing that's what DAs do. And maybe they're slowly going to realize that's what judges do. That's what they do. It's 55 seconds. Shit, do I want to make one more? Fucking, this is too much. This is too time consuming. Fuck. But you got that? I wasn't charged with calling up Rachel once. I had her phone number. Could have called her anytime I wanted to. I knew where she lived. I could have gone and talked to her. They make it sound like some stalker. The emails weren't even to her. She admitted it. We all agreed. The 3 mass emails weren't even to Rachel Trachtenberg. They were all things that she already knew that were to my readers. But evidently on my massive email list, which is dozens and dozens of lists combined, Rachel has like 4 different email addresses that are in dozens of different categories duplicated. So if I have a section for just drummers, she was in that. Musicians, she was in that. Close friends, she was in that. Other ones she wouldn't be in. So she had emails all over the place. So I always had to scrub her emails when doing this late at night, send this stuff out. I made 3 mistakes.